Welcome back to Sprague Homestead. So today we're going to talk about the three types of solar that is available for your home, and you can make a decision on whether 1, 2, or 3, or none of them are the right option for you. So the three basic types of solar is going to be off-grid. We have no connection to the power grid. Grid-tied, which means your home is tied to the power grid. And then grid-tied with a hybrid system. Maybe it has alternate power backup or alternate power generation. So here at Sprague Homestead, we are completely off-grid. We are self-contained. We have solar panels that feed into a battery bank, and when the solar is not charging from the sun, that battery bank then runs the house and anything else that needs power. The advantages of that is that we're completely self-contained. Our solar panels feed directly into our inverters and our chargers. They charge a battery bank, and that battery bank, when the sun is not generating power through the solar panels, feeds then into the house and any electronics or anything that needs power. Some of the advantages of having an off-grid system is that you are your own power system. The great thing is you don't have a bill other than you're going to have a large investment probably in the upfront, or you're going to have some kind of investment that you're going to continually upgrade, maybe adding in panels or different chargers as you need to along the way. Some of the disadvantages of that: you are your own power system. On snowy days, you've got to come out in the weather and get your panels cleaned off to make sure the sun can hit your panels and charge your batteries. Now, some of the maintenance of an off-grid system is going to be making sure your panels are in good shape. If you have a battery backup, it's going to be maintaining your batteries, whether that's checking the water on a frequency or replacing them, or if you have anything else like power generation, you've got to keep that in good shape. Generator needs oil changes, good fuel filter, all of that good fun stuff. The second type is going to be a grid-tied system. Now typically this is going to be solar panels either mounted on a separate stand like we have, could be mounted to a building, and that is going to feed into the grid-tied system. Now, some of the advantages of this is that most of the time you're going to get power from the grid. Your panels are going to feed into that grid and go to the power company, and you will take power back out of the grid system from the power company. Now don't be mistaken thinking when the power grid goes down and they turn power off that your solar panels are going to feed and run your house. Typically that is not the system that is going to be done that way. The panels will feed into the grid will feed your house, not panels to your house. So keep that in mind if you're ever going to look at those. Some of the advantage: you don't have to really worry about being out of power unless the grid goes down. Some of the disadvantage of that: well, you're going to have a little bit of maintenance potentially with your panels or any system if the power company doesn't maintain them for you. And if the power grid goes down, a lot of times your panels will not run your house. You will be out of power. One also note is that the feeding kilowatts in is not equal to the feeding to your house. What I mean by that is typically if you sell 5 kilowatts worth of power to your power company, typically they will prorate that down and it'll be equivalent to roughly a fourth or a fifth of that. So you give them 5 for the same cost of that, they give you 1 back. So it may not be a great advantage of thinking you're going to get 1 to 1, and typically it's like 4 or 5 to 1. And the third system you're going to have available most likely is going to be a grid tied with a alternate source. Now you can do a grid tied that also has a battery backup, so that when your power goes down or the power grid goes down, those batteries can feed into your house and keep you afloat. Now, if you don't want to do batteries, you can also do a generator or some other alternate power source that can feed in and keep your stuff running. Power grid goes down, you don't have batteries, maybe you have a generator that runs the house until the power grid comes back on, or you run out of diesel or gas. Either way, you're going to have power in the case that the grid goes down. So in all three cases, you can typically have a generator or a battery backup or battery power source into any system, whether you're going to be on grid, grid tied hybrid, or off grid. All of those can put a generator in lieu of battery backup or in addition to battery backup. And don't forget about other power generation like geothermal or wind. Those are also options to be fed in to the right system. So knowing the three options available, the question is, Are any of them going to be right for your system, or are you just going to stay tied to the power grid? That's always a great question, and we might just cover that in another video. If you have any questions on anything I covered today, leave them down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.